This video brings an urgent message that divine forces specifically want you to hear. A black car with silent visitors is approaching you, but these forces are concerned you might not recognize who they really are. This isn't just another spiritual warning video. It contains a revelation about mysterious visitors that many miss every day. The divine realm cares so deeply about your spiritual path that they would be disappointed if you dismiss these silent visitors without understanding their sacred purpose. The message you're about to receive has been carefully arranged to reach you at this exact moment in your journey. There's a divine appointment happening right now as you watch. Don't scroll away, because what you're about to learn about these approaching visitors could change everything about how you experience spiritual communication in your life. This isn't an ordinary spiritual message. It's a divine alert about silent visitors in a black car that represent a critical turning point in your walk with higher forces. These mysterious beings have been watching your spiritual journey with loving attention, noticing both your moments of faith and your times of spiritual searching. Missing these particular visitors could mean overlooking a special blessing that's been prepared just for you. These silent visitors mark a limited time spiritual window that's opening in your life right now. Divine forces care so deeply about your spiritual growth that they would be genuinely concerned if you fail to recognize this sacred opportunity. That's why this message found you today. Your attention to this video isn't by chance. It's a divinely orchestrated moment designed to help you see what has been placed directly in your spiritual path. These visitors in the black car have been approaching for some time, but you might have been walking right past the signs of their arrival. Every prayer you've whispered when heaven seemed distant has been heard by these approaching visitors. Every moment you felt spiritually alone during difficult seasons has been witnessed. All the times you've questioned if divine forces were still listening, yet continued to seek them anyway, have been honored by these silent watchers. Your spiritual struggles haven't gone unnoticed by those coming in the black car. Those moments when spiritual breakthroughs seem to happen for everyone except you. These visitors saw your disappointment, the times when your faith felt fragile, yet you held on anyway. That persistence was recognized by these divine messengers. The courage it took to keep believing when everything around you suggested otherwise has been deeply valued. The spiritual questions you've carried, sometimes too heavy to share with others, have all been acknowledged by these approaching visitors. The spiritual path isn't always clear, and divine signs aren't always obvious. Sometimes they require eyes of faith to recognize approaching blessings, which is why these visitors are making their presence so clear you can't possibly miss them. The sign these divine visitors want you to recognize appears in everyday moments, but is often overlooked because it seems too ordinary to be sacred communication. This black car and its silent visitors show up in patterns of events that seem like coincidences, but are actually carefully orchestrated spiritual appointments. They appear in unexpected encounters with people who speak exactly what you've been praying about privately. They emerge in the repeated symbols, numbers or themes that keep catching your attention throughout your day. These visitors manifest through dreams, through sudden spiritual insights, or through books and messages that seem to find you at perfect moments. This sign is uniquely meaningful to your specific spiritual journey, something divine forces have personally selected to grab your attention. It connects directly to the prayers you've been praying and the spiritual questions you've been asking lately. These visitors chose to approach in this particular way because it speaks to your heart in a language only you would fully understand. The window to recognize their arrival won't remain open forever, which is why you must pay attention now. When you recognize these silent visitors approaching in the black car, many puzzling aspects of your spiritual journey will suddenly make perfect sense. Difficult seasons you've walked through, prayers that seemed unanswered, and spiritual dreams that have lingered in your heart will all connect in a beautiful moment of divine clarity. These visitors bring wonderful news for you today. Your spiritual life is shifting to a higher level, and important transformations are happening within and around you now. The divine realm has noticed something unique about your faith journey, and now you've been chosen to receive this special visitation. This moment marks something significant in your walk with higher forces. It's a clear indication that your spiritual sensitivity is growing stronger every day. Something incredibly meaningful is unfolding in your relationship with the divine, far deeper than you might have imagined possible. The recognition of these approaching visitors begins a spiritual awakening that will touch every area of your life, from your prayer life to your relationships to your sense of divine purpose and calling. There's a wave of heavenly attention surrounding you right now as these visitors approach. You're becoming more spiritually attuned, naturally drawing divine communication into your daily experience. Recognizing these silent visitors in the black car brings a heightened awareness of sacred presence. In even the smallest details of your life, more spiritual insights will begin flowing to you than ever before as these visitors draw near. This isn't happening by chance. It's a carefully arranged blessing designed specifically for this season of your spiritual journey. Your prayers matter more than you realize to these approaching messengers. Your spiritual sensitivity inspires heaven and draws these divine visitors toward you. Your faith makes a difference in the spiritual atmosphere around you. This sacred visitation shows that higher forces deeply value your spiritual growth and development. Each step you've taken, even when the path seemed unclear, has led you exactly where you need to be for this divine encounter. These visitors delight when you finally recognize their approach and understand what they've been trying to communicate all along. The timing of these visitors' approach is no coincidence. They come now because you're spiritually ready to recognize and respond to their presence. This precise moment has been divinely chosen because you've grown in faith and spiritual discernment through your life experiences. Your spiritual eyes are now open enough to see what might have been invisible to you before. Your heart has expanded through trials and challenges. Your spiritual wisdom has deepened through experience and seeking. Your soul is now prepared to receive this divine visitation more clearly than ever before. All the challenges you've faced and the questions you've wrestled with have been preparation for recognizing these approaching visitors. Nothing in your spiritual journey has been wasted. Every experience has shaped your ability to recognize divine appointments when they appear. This particular visitation is connected to larger spiritual movements happening in the world right now. Divine forces are sending similar visitors to those who are spiritually alert and ready to receive heavenly communication and guidance. If you're feeling blessed by this revelation about these approaching divine visitors, please consider sending a super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or more to support our channel's mission of sharing these important spiritual messages. Your generosity helps these divine insights reach those who desperately need to recognize the visitors coming for them. When you give, you participate in a sacred exchange that allows us to continue creating content that connects people with heaven's timely messages. In these critical spiritual times, as you begin to recognize these silent visitors approaching in the black car, new spiritual awareness will naturally develop in your life. This clearer vision brings new responsibilities, not just to yourself, but to everyone the divine places in your path who might be missing their own spiritual visitors. Don't view these responsibilities as burdens, but as sacred opportunities to participate in heaven's work. This visitation signals it's time to step into spiritual maturity and navigate this chapter with heavenly wisdom and divine purpose. Finding balance becomes essential during this spiritually charged time. While preparing for these approaching visitors, remember to nurture your practical faith through prayer, scripture, and spiritual community. These spiritual disciplines have shaped who you are and will continue to support you as you grow into this expanded role. The divine realm is inviting you to become more than just a receiver of spiritual visits, but a person who helps others recognize when their own divine appointments are approaching their lives. As you become sensitive to these approaching divine visitors, think about how you can help others who are still missing the signs of their own spiritual appointments. Your experience shows that heaven is constantly sending messengers and visitors. Even when we fail to notice their approach, the spiritual realm witnesses every moment of divine recognition, every awareness of approaching blessings, and every choice to pay attention to sacred signals. Your story of recognizing these visitors brings hope to people feeling spiritually disconnected or wondering if the divine still sends personal messengers. Today, your awareness becomes a light that helps others develop eyes to see the spiritual visitors approaching all around them. This visitation isn't meant to be a private blessing. It's an invitation to help others experience the same spiritual clarity and divine connection. Heaven often works through those who have recently recognized their visitors to help awaken others who are still missing the signs of their own approaching divine appointments and spiritual encounters. As you navigate this new level of spiritual sight with these approaching visitors, stay consistently vigilant. Divine forces remind you that while recognizing one set of spiritual visitors is wonderful, it's just the beginning of a lifetime of divine communication and heavenly appointments. Maintain the spiritual sensitivity that allowed you to see these black car visitors in the first place. Guard against returning to spiritual dullness or distraction that made you miss important signs in the past. Let your spiritual awareness continue to flow from genuine faith and daily attention to divine presence. With this new ability to recognize approaching spiritual visitors comes ongoing responsibility to remain receptive and responsive. Use this gift wisely to discern true divine communication from false spiritual signals or ordinary coincidences. Not every black car carries spiritual visitors, but heaven will make truly important appointments unmistakable. Embrace this journey with both humility and confidence, showing others that recognizing divine visitors comes from staying connected to higher forces daily, through prayer, worship, scripture, and obedient action when heaven reveals its will. Picture a future where you consistently recognize divine visitors approaching all around you. Imagine spiritual doors opening unexpectedly, heavenly appointments arriving precisely when needed, and your understanding of divine communication expanding beyond anything you've experienced before. These silent visitors in the black car represent just the beginning. Divine forces stand with you, encouraging you to embrace this journey of spiritual sight with complete trust. This is truly your moment to experience deeper divine connection through recognizing heavenly messengers when they approach. This marks the beginning of a time when your spiritual perception, wisdom, and heart will be more aligned with heaven than ever before. Accept this blessing with gratitude, and remember that you're surrounded by divine support on this journey of spiritual awakening. The path ahead holds countless opportunities to experience heavenly guidance through visitors and signs that will become increasingly clear to your spiritually attuned eyes. What joy awaits as you learn to read the divine language of spiritual appointments and heavenly visitors all around you in everyday life. If this message has awakened something in your spirit about these approaching visitors, please consider blessing our channel with a super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or whatever amount feels right to you. Your support creates a beautiful spiritual exchange and allows us to continue sharing these divine revelations with those who need them most. Your generosity helps fund our mission to help others recognize the spiritual visitors heaven is sending in these important times. If you're ready to acknowledge that you're seeing signs of approaching divine visitors, type 888 in the comments below as your declaration of spiritual awareness. The journey of recognizing divine visitors continues beyond this revelation about the black car. As you step into new spiritual awareness, stay grounded in scripture and prayer that keeps your discernment sharp and accurate for future heavenly appointments. Every visitor you recognize could be the exact confirmation someone else has been waiting to see in their own spiritual journey. Your growing spiritual sensitivity serves as inspiration for others wondering if heaven still sends personal messengers and divine appointments today. Move forward with an attentive heart, a watchful mind and a responsive spirit, ready to welcome spiritual visitors when they approach. Create opportunities for others to recognize divine appointments as you enjoy the clarity and blessings coming your way. The spiritual language of heavenly visitation has always been part of how divine forces communicate with those who love them. By choosing to pay attention to these approaching visitors, you join a long tradition of faithful followers who have learned to recognize heaven's voice and messengers in everything around them. These silent visitors in the black car are just the beginning of your new spiritual chapter of divine encounters.